eyes and your vision are under attack. Damaging blue light from the sun, your phone, your computer, your tablet, even light bulbs and car headlights is constantly bombarding you. The good news is our eyes actually already have a line of defense to counter the effects of blue light. This defense is made up of 3 pigments called carotenoids. MacuHealth with Micromicelle, the only supplement with the exclusive patent on all 3 macular carotenoids and Micromicelle technology.
Do your patients know what presbyopia is?
There are people who are afraid of the press.
Have you talked to your patients about multifocal contact lenses?
I've heard the bifocal, but not multifocal.
Exactly, not multifocal.
Do you need help with your multifocal strategy? Learn more at the conclusion of this episode. With more screen usage and indoor time, myopia, also known as nearsightedness, is increasing and getting worse in children. Now, certified eye doctors can prescribe MiSight One Day, the first and only FDA-approved soft contact lens to slow myopia progression in age-appropriate children. Visit CooperVision.com to find a Brilliant Futures certified eye doctor near you. Good morning, I'm Dr. Kerry Gelb, and welcome to Wellness 1280 on Open Your Eyes Radio. Please listen as I discuss the newest information in the world of health, nutrition, and sports every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. Central Time on AM 1280 The Patriot. Also, please share your thoughts by emailing me at drkerrygelb@gmail.com. That's drkerrygelb@gmail.com. And visit my new website, wellness1280.com, where we have all guest links, Wellness 1280 information, and previous shows. Wellness is taking over the Patriot Airways for the next hour. So sit back and enjoy my interview with a return guest, Dr. Anna Rosa. Gratitude is the feeling of thankfulness or appreciation for positive aspects of life. Research constantly shows that practicing gratitude can have profound benefits on our mental, physical, and social well-being. Today's returning guest, the amazing Dr. Anna Claudia Rosa, MD. She also has a PhD. She's a radiologist who, after experienced personal tragedy, felt a deep calling to help others. She has since become an advocate for using gratitude as a tool to foster resilience and guide people through their journey of healing from grief. Dr. Rosa, thank you for joining me again today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here. I am so very happy to be here, especially by talking about gratitude, which is a practice that we can introduce daily, little by little, and definitely make a huge difference in the quality of our lives for body, mind, and spirit. So thank you so very much, and I am happy to dive deep into this topic for life.
Well, we thank you for doing it as well. I mean, this is some very personal things but we know we reach thousands and thousands of people, and we're going to help them. And we're going to do 2 parts. The first part is going to be on gratitude. And the second part, we're going to talk a little bit about grief and how we could help people who are grieving for different reasons. But we're going to start with gratitude. And I kind of gave you a definition of gratitude in my opening, but what does gratitude mean to an expert on gratitude, and how would you define it?
So gratitude is just this big word, right? Like mindfulness, like grounding, like journaling. And sometimes it's not very palpable and tangible, and it feels like it's in a different world. But gratitude is really a practice. Gratitude is teaching your brain to get out of the negative default mechanism that we have from the caveman era, where we had to protect ourselves. So we focus on the negative to flight, fight, and freeze safety behaviors. So gratitude is when you act on the neuroplasticity, which is the ability of the brain to change, and you start focusing on the good things that are happening in your life. And gratitude is just not this positive mindset, but gratitude is really a practice that you are going to do every day, whenever you remember, and you are going to be detailed oriented. You're going to be specific. And then you are teaching your brain to activate a portion of your brain called activation reticular system. And then your brain, you are training your brain to pay attention in everything that is good around you. And it could be just the sun, which is not just the sun, because the sun is here every day for us, right? And it's going to definitely change the way you see the world. It's going to change the way you feel in your body, because it also changes what your brain is releasing at each time, right? It decreases stress. We're going to talk about that, but it just changes everything in your brain through neuroplasticity.
You made a good point before, an interesting point. It's not about just positive thinking or Pollyanna thinking. Now, can you make a distinction between just positive thinking and gratitude thinking?
I firmly believe that positive thinking is when something really hard is happening to you and you try to shift that, like, oh, this is going to be fine. This is going to be fine. And it's just kind of a mindset that you're trying to convince yourself, and you might be in denial. While gratitude for me is more like, yes, something hard is happening, but instead of thinking that life is happening to me, I'm going to think that life is happening for me. And I'm going to find the gift, the lesson, the brick that I'm paving the road I'm walking in life, in this lesson, in this situation that is happening for me. And when I ask the questions that allow me to see the lesson and the gift from that specific moment, even if it's a moment that is breaking you apart, that's when I can see and be grateful and appreciate whatever comes to me in this life, right? Life happening for me and not to me, for us and not to us.
And when someone practices gratitude, how does it change their life?
It completely changed my life. And from all the researches that I have seen from big people like Jay Shetty, Dr. Daniel Amen, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, for all these big people who talk about gratitude, Ben Azadi, who has been talking so much about inflammation, and he says that gratitude is the vitamin G that we need in our lives. So I definitely believe it changes the life completely. And that has been shown through research studies. Like I'm going to talk about a study that is in the radiology field, since I am a radiologist, but there were studies done with functional brain MRI that evaluates the action in your brain when you are practicing or doing a specific activity. And people were having the functional brain MRI at the moment that they were practicing gratitude. They were showing appreciation for something. And they were able to prove that there are two areas in your brain that simply become super bright when you are practicing gratitude. Is the area of reward, which is the dopamine, the feel-good transmitter in your body, and the area of bonding, of connection, of love and calm and peace, releasing oxytocin. So for those of you who are not aware of oxytocin, it's the same substance that women have when they have their babies and they are breastfeeding. So it's really a bonding, loving, belonging connection. And when you are practicing gratitude, you develop this loving, bonding connection with you, which is the most important thing that you are doing for you, and building confidence and trust as well. So definitely changes your life for the better by you becoming your best friend and your best accountability partner.
You mentioned neuroplasticity. Explain what that means and explain what gratitude does to change our brain wiring.
So it's really interesting because I finished med school in 1998, so a long time ago. And when I did med school, the theory was your brain cells die and they're not going to be replaced, right? At least that's what I believe that I've learned a long time ago. And now there are so many like new papers and studies showing that it is not really true. You are able to heal your brain. You are able to build new neural connections, neural circuits in your brain. Like you are able to build different paths that the nerve cells, the neurons will be connecting. And you are able to increase areas in your brain, and you are able to calm down areas in your brain. So when you are practicing gratitude, what happens is you are telling your body that you are safe, that you are calm, that you are okay, that everything is well, that you do not need to be alarmed, that you do not need to be in fight, flight, and freeze mode. And when you do that, you are calming an area of your brain that it's called amygdala. So when you calm down the amygdala, you diminish the alert system of your body. So gratitude is really important in this area of your brain. And also, again, like I said, activating the reticular system. So you start paying attention more in good things around you. So you definitely inhale and embrace and infuse yourself and your body and your life with the abundance of the universe, with the abundance of your creator, whatever your faith is. Gratitude allows you to connect with that.
And you talk about how gratitude is an attitude, a mindset, and it's hard work. Gratitude is hard work. Now we're up against the break. We have about 20 seconds left. Just real quickly, in a few seconds, how long does it take before people see the benefit of gratitude?
I would say immediately. As soon as you do one practice, you already feel in your body the release of all these substances that we talked about.
So we talked before the break about gratitude being an attitude, a mindset, and hard work. Explain what you mean by that.
So it is a hard work, quote unquote, hard work, because it's something that you need to put into action. Take the time and start practicing. Really have the inspired intention to do the repetition every day. However, it's not really a hard work because the benefits that you are going to see in your mind, in your body, in your life are phenomenal. So, like you start practicing, and then you're going to see that it's going to become who you are and not what you are doing anymore. Because your brain, like we talked in the prior topic, your brain will start paying attention in everything that is good in your life. And then your brain is going to change. And while your brain is changing, the practice becomes imprinted in your soul and imprinted in your body, right? So, and it's really awesome because you're going to be seeing so many positive impacts in your body. There are lots of studies showing that gratitude is good for cardiovascular disease, for dementia, decreasing blood pressure, decreasing stress. Gratitude decreases cortisol, which is the hormone of stress. And by doing that, it also improves the metabolism of sugar, the blood sugar, and the insulin resistance in your body. So just by that, you see that your body is getting better from inflammation that we talked before, from visceral fat, which is the fat in your abdomen, and you are decreasing chronic disease in your life. And you are improving prediabetes, diabetes, eye problems, dementia. Gratitude is also important because while decreasing the cortisol, the insulin, and the glucose, it is also improving, like we said, the dopamine, which is the feel-good hormone, the DHEA, which is an antidepressant molecule, and the oxytocin. So at the same time that it's working in your body, physical, it's also working in your body, mindset, and mood. And by feeling all these changes, your brain starts building trust, confidence that you are the person who builds daily your safe, sacred space in yourself, in your actions. And you start feeling more confident, more self-love, more self-care, more trust. And you start just doing this because it feels good, because it's the new you daily.
I
Yeah.
think it's interesting that you talk about some of the science things that happens, that neurotransmitter that it increases dopamine, which is associated with pleasure and satisfaction, and DHEA, which is a hormone that actually makes estrogen and testosterone. And then it helps with that oxytocin, which we call the love hormone, and also helps with stress. And I think that kind of brings us to some of the studies that have done. So we just want people to know that people have studied this. This isn't just a feeling. This is something that's been studied. And there was a study done in 2004 by two psychologists, Peterson and San, and they studied 24 character strengths to find which is the best predictor of well-being. Can you tell us a little bit about that study?
Yes, so that study was amazing. I've learned that study when I was doing a course that is called Made For, and it was done with Andrew Huberman as the neuroscientist that was backing up the course. And he was discussing that in this study, they evaluated different kinds of people, and they were like practicing different kinds of behavior, right? So gratitude or kindness or, attention, any different kinds of patterns of behavior. And they were able to see that the one that was more related to feeling well with yourself, with your life, with the people around you, dropping expectations, just accepting life happening for you, was gratitude. That definitely made a huge impact on how you see life, on how you feel in your life, and how you can move forward. Because when you start believing that life is happening for you and not to you, you open possibilities instead of being in this position of poor me, right? You are like, okay, life is happening for me. So hold on. What am I going to see here that is a gift that I'm going to grab to that, and I'm going to keep building with this gift the new version of me in the smallest step, the smallest action, because gratitude is also something that it's not supposed to be overwhelmed. It's not supposed to be something that will increase your stress, but the opposite. So I invite you, whenever you're going to practice gratitude, to not add this as a check mark thing in your life, as a chore. It's just like, oh, hold on a second. I'm just going to pay attention for 3 minutes in the things that are good for me, that are happening well. It could be in the beginning of your day. It could be in the middle of your day. It could be when you go to your bed to sleep, and you just think about what happened in your day that worked well, and you are grateful. And that's how Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches you to do. Whenever you go to your bed, to prepare yourself for a good evening and a good night of sleep, to calm down your brain with all decreasing these hormones of stress, and allowing yourself also to increase growth hormone, which is the hormone of youth. So you just pause for 3 minutes, and you might even fall asleep because you're going to feel so calm. But pause for 3 minutes and just reflect, what am I grateful for today? And don't stress about anything. You are not supposed to stress out, what am I grateful for? I am grateful for my vision, because I was able to see life and engage in life today. I am grateful for this super comfy bed that is allowing my body to rest. I am grateful for the temperature in my room that provides a restful sleep as well. And as I just described, I just want you to focus in one thing, whoever is listening. I didn't say I am grateful for the bed, period. I didn't say I'm grateful for my room temperature, period. I said, I am grateful for my bed that is allowing my body to rest peacefully, comfortably. I am grateful for the temperature in my room that provides a better sleep, because that's the secret in gratitude. Gratitude for you to really trick your brain in shifting from negative to appreciation. You have to be detailed oriented. It's not a generic practice. It's like, okay, you are grateful for the sun. Why are you grateful for the sun, Anna? Your brain talking to you. I am grateful for the sun because it makes me feel warm, because it allows my body to produce vitamin D. And that's okay, just this. But teach your brain to see that there is a reason why you are grateful, because then your brain is going to release the reasons that he's trying to keep you safe and fighting and flighting and freezing. So that's the trick in gratitude.
And you talked about the 2009 study, the MRI study for that, the part of the brain for reward and bonding that light up. So tell us also about there was a 2015 study, 186 people dealing with heart disease. Can gratitude really help us with our health?
Absolutely. This study was able to prove that gratitude, the practice of gratitude, had a huge impact in decreasing your stress, in decreasing your cortisol. And when you decrease your stress and decrease your cortisol, you impact your whole body, right? So if we start from the heart, you're going to decrease your heart rate, you're going to decrease your blood pressure. If we go to your liver and your pancreas, you're going to decrease insulin, you're going to decrease blood sugar, so you are improving insulin resistance. And as I said, you are decreasing inflammation and chronic disease in your body. And when you are decreasing cortisol and at the same time decreasing blood sugar and improving insulin sensitivity, at the same time, you are getting better from diabetes type 2, from diabetes type 3, which is dementia, Alzheimer's. So that's a huge benefit in your body. And the mood, the mindset, the mental health, because like we said, produces dopamine, produces oxytocin, and also DHEA, which is the hormone, the sexual hormones connection, but it is also an antidepressant molecule. So it's really good because all these together improve your heart health, your heart life, but also makes you feel peaceful, calm, grounded, aware in the present moment, decreasing your stress.
You know, who should practice gratitude? Should we all practice it, or only people that are sad and depressed? Who should practice gratitude?
So this is a question that has two answers. All of us should practice gratitude because, like we discussed, it's going to improve your health from the top of your head to the sole of your feet because it's decreasing inflammation and it's improving your mental health. However, people who have depression, anxiety, panic attacks, any kind of mental issue that really puts you even more down and disconnected from yourself, these people definitely should find time daily to practice gratitude. Almost as if it's your medication. Almost, I used to tell my husband, for you to prevent having chemotherapy, you probably want to decrease your chronic disease when he was doing chemotherapy. So when people tell me, oh, I don't want to do that because it's annoying, I say it's way worse to do chemotherapy. So use your gratitude as if it's the therapy that you're going to infuse in your veins to really feel the difference. And instead of killing tumor cells, it's really bringing life to your body.
You know, I think those are great points. And before the break last time, I asked you, how long does it take before gratitude kicks in? So we're going to answer that when we get back from the break.
MacuHealth, your science-born and tested solutions for visual performance, macular degeneration, and dry eye syndrome. New products coming soon. Embrace the science.
We're back with Dr. Anna Rosa. We're talking about gratitude. This is Dr. Kerry Gelb for Open Your Eyes Radio on AM 1280 The Patriot. And right before the break, and for people that maybe are just tuning in now, how long does it take before gratitude starts kicking in? Because we talked about this before, but it's such an important point. I just want to...
It is immediately. Gratitude makes a shift in how you are feeling in your body immediately. As soon as you practice the first gratitude, I am grateful for seeing Dr. Gelb here talking to me. I am already infusing my body with all the substances that we talked in the prior conversation. So yes, it's immediately, because when you are focusing on gratitude, you cannot think about anything else. You cannot think about the difficult things. You cannot think about the sadness, because you are focusing. You are bringing the attention to that thing that you are grateful for. So your brain simply like, whoop, set the attention to what you are focusing at that moment. And where your focus goes, your energy goes. So it's immediately. And I love like what we talked in the prior set, that because in the interval we just shared two words. And I see Ben Azadi again saying gratitude is your vitamin G. So when Dr. Gelb asked about like how to practice gratitude as if it's your vitamin that you are taking for you to become more nourished with love, so then you can overflow love to you and to everyone around you. And like, as you can say, my energy is already different and I am having goosebumps because I'm talking about gratitude. So that's the energy. And it's not like fake, and it's not that I am pretending to be like that. It's just because it is releasing all these things in my body. So I cannot control because it's a brain circuit, right?
We talked a little bit last segment how to do it, but let's get into some specifics on how to do it. Should we do it in the morning? Should we do it in the afternoon? Should we do it before we go to bed? You mentioned before that if you do it before you go to bed, it may help you sleep a little better. You might actually fall asleep doing gratitude. So give us some specifics on how we can practice gratitude.
I always tell myself that everything I want to do, or everything you might want to do in your life, you have to adjust to you, to how it feels better and how it resonates best with you and your heart. So if it's in the morning, do it in the morning. You wake up and you are taking a shower, or you just sit outside for 5 minutes and just practice, like I said, detailed. Just look around and see what is good in your life right now. Like I said, doesn't need to be super, I forgot the word, but for example, you can just be grateful for internet. I am grateful for internet because, again, detailed, because it allows me to connect with each one of you, and it allows me to be here with Dr. Gelb and each one of you. So it's something that simple. You really don't have to stress out very much, and you should not stress out very much. Or whenever during the day you see something that it feels good in your body, because like I said, it's going to become who you are and not what you do, you can just express gratitude at that moment. Dr. Joe Dispenza and Daniel Amen, they talk about the evening routine that you could do gratitude practices before going to bed while you are laying down, because then you're going to also be a moment that while you are practicing gratitude, you are also reflecting on your day. You are also reflecting on what worked well. You are also reflecting on how you can change for tomorrow, right? So build your practice the way that it feels good for you, the way that it's not going to be overwhelming. One thing that I would say though, is that it's really awesome to have an accountability partner. So if you have a boyfriend, a family, a husband, any kind of friends, a girlfriend, any partners, just practice gratitude with them, because it's going to be a ripple effect that it's going to change the relationship. Like at work, you can start like practicing gratitude work every day. Someone goes there and say, why are you grateful for today? Each day one person, so then you don't spend the whole meeting just practicing gratitude, because people would kill me for that. But yes, so just build the practice that resonates with your heart, and build the practice that feels good in your body and your mind. And usually they say 1 to 3 to 5 gratefuls. I do 3. I have an accountability partner, my friend from Florida, and we text each other. And it's really awesome because you feel that that person is also getting your back. It's almost like a brotherhood, right? Like, yeah, it's really awesome.
I have a difficult question to ask you. There may not be an answer for it, but I'm going to ask it to you anyway. Kids, I want my son to practice gratitude. And I mentioned it to him the other day, and he looked at me like maybe I have 3 heads. What do you think is a good way for me to get him, to encourage him and people out there listening, to get kids to practice gratitude? Because we all know there's people that are very negative people, and you want your kids to be a positive person. You want them to look at life with glass half full than glass half empty. So how can we help our children to practice that?
I would say, first of all, by example. You could start practicing with your kids. You could just be driving them to school and say, oh, I am so grateful for us this time we are having together, because we can just like be family and belong. You could do that during meal time. I am grateful for this amazing meal that is nourishing my body and keeping me healthy. You could ask them, hey, I know you feel uncomfortable. I know it feels weird for you, But how about you share with me just one? Because I really wanted to know what's going on in your brain. It's our way of asking, right? Open-ended questions. And I love that you said the positive in seeing life as the glass half full instead of the glass half empty. I would say gratitude is so awesome because you are able to look at both glasses and see what good they are doing in your life. Like my glass is half full. I am grateful for that because I am building the life I deserve. My glass is half empty. I am grateful for that because I am releasing what doesn't belong and I'm opening space for everything that I deserve and I will co-create with the universe. So it's really not positive or negative. It's like, I am grateful no matter what, because what I'm saying, I am learning that life is for me, not to me. And I am learning to see the lesson and the good in everything. Again, it doesn't matter if it's breaking me. Like we're going to talk in the next show about grief. My husband died, and we're going to talk about grief and gratitude, how gratitude helped me walk and keep healing the journey of grief. So even when something breaks you in a million pieces, even when your life is shattered, you hold on to gratitude. There is also something that life is wanting to teach you, that life wants to give you. And that's something you can only notice by practicing gratitude.
You know, there are certain people, as I brought up before, that are very negative people, very toxic, very negative. And what do you think is a good way to interact with people like that, especially if they're a family member or somebody, a coworker at work, and that you really can't escape them and they're kind of toxic to you? Or, how could somebody, what's a good way of dealing with something like that? I know you're not a psychologist, but you do have a PhD and you're a very smart person. You have an MD, a PhD. You study psychology, you study gratitude, you study grief. What do you think?
So that is such a hard question because we all have someone like that in our lives, right? And when we cannot take them away, especially if they are family, it's really tricky. I would say that, first of all, I love this book here. For those of you who are seeing, it's called The Four Agreements from Don Miguel Ruiz. And there is one agreement here that you make with yourself is do not take anything personal. So their expectations, their thoughts, their beliefs are theirs. They are not yours. So you don't have to bring the poison inside your body, right? They might be giving you the poison, but you don't have to drink the poison, right? You have to choose not to drink, choose not to interact, choose not to proceed with the gossip, choose to sometimes be honest and say, listen, I understand that you are in this situation, but right now I cannot handle this with you. Always being impeccable, also from this book, being impeccable with your word, speaking very clearly, very honestly, with candor and respect, what you want and what you need. And your boundaries, which are like how much time you can spend with that person, how much that it's not going to damage you. Because maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 1 hour. It does not need to be their decision. It is your decision because you protect yourself while also helping them. And slowly but surely, start practicing that. They're going to feel awkward, like they're complaining about something, and then get the something that they are complaining and find a positive, find a gratitude, find a grateful thing on that. And then you're going to be reversing.
I mean, that's terrific advice. And before we were talking about, and we brought up, the negative people, and they actually did a study. Edmonds and McCullough did a study in 2003, and people had to write down. There was one group that wrote down the things that they were grateful for. There was another group that wrote down things that they were irritated. They just wrote down things that irritated them. And then there was the neutral. And so it was the gratitude group, the irritated group, and then the neutral group. And after they did a study to find out what happened with those people. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about that study and what they found and who did the best, who had the least physical symptoms and complaints, and who was the most optimistic. There was a study that I found that broke people into three categories. I thought it was so interesting. One group wrote down all the things they were grateful for, and the other one wrote down the things that irritated them. And then there was one that was neutral. And they found the participants who practiced gratitude in that group had significantly higher levels of well-being, more optimism about the future, fewer physical complaints, and even exercise more. And I was wondering if you could just maybe comment on that.
I think it's amazing. I think it just reinforces what we discussed in the other segments, like how it really impacts your body and your stress and your heart and your mind. And when you are feeling better with yourself, when you are building this self-care and self-love, of course, again, it's going to be a domino effect, a virtuous circle instead of a vicious circle. It's going to be a virtuous circle. You practice gratitude, you take care of yourself, you see the good in the world, you learn that life happens for you, and you start just building more and more confidence and trust and start taking better care of yourself. And the good thing is that when you take better care of yourself, like Dr. Gelb was asking regarding the kids, everywhere, everyone who is around you is going to look around and say, what's going on with this person? You know, I want to be like that too. And that's when you're going to bring people to you, not by convincing them with words, by convincing them with actions, walking the talk, right? Which I love it. So I appreciate so much this study because it just reinforces how much gratitude really makes a huge difference in our lives.
There was another study by Kerr and O'Donnell, and they show that participants who practice gratitude in the workplace they had a greater job satisfaction, and they had reduced stress at jobs, and they were better employees. If you could maybe comment on that as well.
Absolutely, because also it creates a sense of appreciation between each other. It creates a sense of respect, of seeing the other, of being there for the other. Like I said, the brotherhood that the Army, the Marines, the SEAL, Navy people have. It's like, I might not like you, but I get your back. But when you start doing appreciation, you start liking the other person because we are all humans and we have the similar fears, similar doubts, similar insecurities. And by appreciating, you just become a partner, you become a companion, you become a friend, it's really an environment of belonging. Again, not really criticizing or judging, but by helping each other and seeing the good that the other person is doing, despite sometimes the person being annoying, because guess what? We are all annoying.
So you're a native of Brazil, and I'm very interested in gratitude in different cultures. How may it practiced in different places other than maybe in the United States?
This is very interesting. It's a very interesting question because I have my social media Instagram account that it's called Rosa Gratitude. And I wanted to start an account in Brazil, and I was thinking about doing the same. Ana Rosa Gratidão, which is Portuguese for gratitude. And I felt really sad because in Brazil, gratitude, the word gratitude, they have been using with so many jokes, with so many different ways of seeing it, that it kind of diminished the power of the action, which is very, very sad, So I don't know about Europe because I haven't seen anything. I haven't really researched anything about gratitude in Europe or in the Eastern culture. Well, the Eastern culture, definitely, because it comes from the monks, it comes from the Hindus, right? So they do practice gratitude in their life, and their calm and their well-being sense is way amazing. But like here in the United States, it mesmerizes me because I feel so happy to be here. because it's really something that people value, that people see as an important aspect of your life. So unfortunately, in Brazil, it has lost a little bit of the power because of the jokes and everything that they brought together, just the culture, I guess, unfortunately. But I hope that they will find their way back.
Is the culture more macho over there? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, yeah. But I hope that they will find their way back to gratitude because, like we have discussed so much until now, it's really a way of living that makes sense and makes you find meaning and purpose in every step that you are walking in your journey of life.
Because there are certain cultures that people, the men don't like to show their feelings, and they may have more difficult. And because when you practice gratitude, you really have to get in touch with your feelings more, and a lot of times men aren't used to that. Now, maybe women too. I don't know, but certainly when I was growing up in the United States, men weren't supposed to show their feelings as much. Things are different now, but but to some extent. Now, and I was just wondering if you had a comment on that.
I think so too. I think it's like grief too that we're going to talk in the other show. It's hard for people to face the feelings that are uncomfortable. And gratitude also connects to like feeling maybe I'm frail because I'm paying attention in the goodness when something difficult is happening. I need to focus on what's happening that it's difficult and how to fix it. But some things you're not going to fix it because they are not under your control. And you just have to see what's the best step next in love, and you just have to see what is good from that situation that you can that you can grab and use as a tool and a resource to move forward. And there is one by you saying that, there is one Indian proverb that I love that says, "The longest journey you will ever walk is the journey from your head to your heart." Because it's really hard for us, especially us doctors, to disconnect from our brain, the reasoning, and just allow ourselves to feel and to be, right? So I am gratitude is a feeling, is a being. Gratitude is really like I am allowing my heart to look around and see how lucky we are to just be alive, right? So that's what I invite you guys to do. Connect to your heart and allow your body, your heart to feel that the goodness. Just feel, and that will embrace you and propel you forward way faster than trying to fix. Feeling instead of fixing.
I think that's a good point, especially when talking about doctors. I think one of our biggest problems as doctors is we don't listen. We jump in too quickly because we kind of know the answer pretty quick a lot of times. So we jump in and instead of listening and let the patient explain what's wrong, even if we know what's wrong in the first 5 seconds, because sometimes we do, but just to let them say it, because if you let them talk, typically they're going to tell you the answer to that problem anyway. And I just wonder if you comment about that as well.
I like what you said because it's almost like life is a journey. It's almost like every step, everything that happens to you, it's a lesson. And if you don't pass that lesson, you're going to repeat until you pass the lesson. So it's almost like a test, right? So I like what you said about we jump into the answer just because we believe we know. We believe we know. It's almost like when you are doing a multiple test question for doctors like me and you, that you don't even finish reading the question and then you mark and then there was but in the end and you didn't see it and you do it wrong because you didn't take the time to just pause, reflect, look around and feel, right? So yes, I agree with you that we don't listen, and it's so important to learn to listen and to learn to be grateful again that we are able to connect with our hearts. We just have to practice.
I'm always so grateful. I make sure I listen. I'm always so grateful to be able to help people when they come into my office. And we have about a minute left, and I just want to end with this last study, and it was about journaling and how journaling could help somebody who wants to practice gratitude because maybe they can't express it, but they could write it down and that could help them. So if you could just comment on that, we got about 50 seconds left before the end of the show. And how can people find out more about you? And then you're going to come back for a second show where we're going to talk about grief.
Journaling is an amazing tool for healing. So it's really good that you could journal your 3 gratefuls in the morning, in the middle of the day, or at night. Because when you are journaling, also it has been proven that it's way better than typing, because there's a way of improving your neural connection and the neuroplasticity just by writing down, cursive writing down. So journaling is awesome for any kind of healing, even just to put the pain up and out. When you are stressed, when you are nervous, when you are anxious, just write down what's going on and don't pay attention to the words. Write.
So this is Dr. Kerry Dell for Open Your Eyes Radio. We'll be back for a show next week. We're going to continue our discussion with Dr. Anna Rosa, but we're going to talk about grief.
Your eyes and your vision are under attack, damaging blue light from the sun. Your phone, your computer, your tablet, even light bulbs and car headlights is constantly bombarding you. The good news is our eyes actually already have a line of defense to counter the effects of blue light. This defense is made up of 3 pigments called carotenoids. MacuHealth with Micromicelle, the only supplement with the exclusive patent on all 3 macular carotenoids and Micromicelle technology.
Fitting multifocal contact lenses presents a big opportunity to meet patient needs while growing your practice. Alcon is your partner not only with our innovative portfolio, but through e-learning. Learn to enhance your multifocal strategy today with the Alcon Experience Academy.
OIE Broadcasting is the emerging leader in social media. We use scientific entertainment to drive more patients into your office. Visit oiebroadcasting.com and sign up today.